everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I'm going to do kind of a Q&A on the last video I put up on seeds, buying, getting seeds, where I get my seeds, and there were a lot of questions that kind of made me think that I didn't really touch into this subject, so I wanted to get into it today. So I'm going to, hopefully I can read my tablet, because as the sun comes through the window, my tablet darkens. I guess it thinks it's nighttime and it's hard on my eyes. Touch on a few things. Kimberly, she mentioned Ray. He's got the Voodoo Garden. Oh, I love Ray. I watch Ray all the time. And yes, he's a great guy to get seeds from. And there was a lot of people, Baker Creek, of course. I already talked about Baker Creek. I talked about saving seeds, and a lot of people, this is what I wanted to really touch on. People said that they're going to the grocery store and that they're saving seeds like cantaloupe seeds and things like that. I'm going to have to state, and it's up to you if you want to try it, I have tried that. Now, here's the problem with saving seeds from the grocery store. I'm not talking about farmer's market. I'm not talking about getting it independently from somebody. Some of these seeds, when the farmers get it, they're seeds that were designed and hybridized in a way to grow in a certain fashion. So when you take the seeds and save it, let's say in a cantaloupe you bought, the plant will grow. You'll get a vine and everything, but what you're not going to probably get is that wonderful cantaloupe that you ate. I've tried it, and when I grew the vines here a couple years ago outside, I ended up with these little green cantaloupe that they didn't even taste that good. But the problem is they're designed, especially, there's a whole science behind it, in a manner in which you cannot really reproduce it yourself as a backyard gardener saving the seeds. Brad's atomic tomatoes are a perfect example. He designed that tomato in a way where he knows how to hybridize two different tomatoes to get that tomato. If you save the seeds, the odds are most of them will grow into a nice tomato, but it will not be the same tomato. You can't really save the seeds and expect the very same tomato that you bought the seeds, like I bought online from eBay, from the Heirloom guy, Heirloom seed guy. I can't expect my Brad's tomatoes to grow the same tomato. Even if I only grew the Brad's, they still won't grow true because he's got a special way of cross-pollinating them to know exactly how that tomato is going to grow. So that's the thing you've got to think about when you're saving your own seeds. So when it comes to that, it may not work out right, but it still could work out good. I might end up with tomatoes that look really cool and taste really good, even though they may not be Brad's. You know, it's going to be okay. The tomato seeds that are being sold from all of the other people that were mentioned in the video, a lot of people mentioned different places like eBay, Baker Creek, MI Gardener. They're all getting their seeds from the same source. I bought a great big bag of lettuce seed. I bought it so you could either rebag them up and sell them, or if you were a farmer, you could just set it all over your farm acres. They're buying it in bulk, and then they're repackaging it to whatever package that they sell in. So a lot of the seeds, if you think you're getting it from one person or you're getting it from another person, that they're different, they're not. A lot of the seeds, when they're designer seeds, are coming from the same source. So that is something I wanted to explain. So keep in mind that, you know, I get from the Heirloom guy, I pay $2 for Brad's seeds, and he sends a whole bag full. He usually sends far more than what's really mentioned, you know, in his ad. Other people sell the same type of seed, and they're all coming from that same source. It's all being sold. This one source is selling to all these different seed companies, and once they're out for the season. So keep that in mind. The other thing is there are certain things that you can keep your seeds from. Popolo is one. Popolo is not going to cross-pollinate with anything. So that is absolutely perfect to keep. Malabar spinach isn't going to cross-pollinate. Now, going back to your collard, your broccoli, see, I collect all kinds of seeds. Dinosaur kale. I have had so far, my dinosaur kale is growing true. So that seems to grow pretty good collecting your own seeds. Tomatoes are a big one that will hybridize among each other. So if you've got a certain tomato, and I had what was called, I think, an Anaswa, and when I regrew them, they were smaller and they looked a little different, but they were great. They just hybridized with the other tomatoes around. Romaine lettuce, because I'm only really growing right now romaine lettuce, that's been growing true when it grows. Dill seed is a perfect example. That's a good one to keep. So it is absolutely worth it to keep your own seeds, but just keep in mind certain things may not grow correctly. But dill will. Now if I'm growing collard and sprouting broccoli at the same time, and if they flower at the same time, the bees will go cross-pollinate, and I have ended up with collard that had a different shaped leaf when I kept those seeds, and then I ended up with sprouting broccoli, which was a seed I bought from somebody, and they no longer sell it, the person I bought it from, and that grew a beautiful bush with little broccolis all over. When they cross-pollinate with the collard, I end up with this different type of plant that's got a little bit different shaped leaves, still throws some little broccoli heads to it, but it's a hybrid. It's hybridized with the collard. So collard and your dinosaur kale and your broccoli, they can hybridize. It's okay. It's still food. The real big one that you really need to keep in mind is your zucchini. This past year, in 2019, I only planted zucchini. I bought heirloom seeds. I don't think I have any here. I bought the heirloom seeds. And they grew beautiful. The first set of my heirloom seeds from here grew beautiful, and I tried a different brand as well. Again, remember, a lot of them, when they're, let's say, Black Beauty, are getting from this same source. So you may buy from this company and this company, but the seeds came possibly from the same source. They grew absolutely gorgeous. I had those great big zucchini. Some of them were like that long. They were amazing. But when I kept the seeds back, which I do, and the first year, that same season in 2019, because I let some get big right away, really early in the season, they all grew different. They all grew different. I had ones that looked like bowling balls or watermelons. I had yellow ones. I call them white. It was a really light colored green. They all tasted great. Let me tell you, they were all great. But none of the seeds that, even though I only grew zucchini here, and I know my neighbors aren't growing, nothing close by, they still did not grow true, which meant, don't quote me on this, the seeds are designed, many of them, not all, some of them are designed to only grow for you that one time. And the reason is they want you to come back and buy more, and you'll see what happens. My daughter had the same thing. She did grow pumpkin, so it might have been her fault. She kept her first seeds. She was growing zucchini and pumpkins, and she ended up with these great big squash that were that big, and when she cut them open inside, they were bright orange. And she said they were so good. They may have cross-pollinated in her yard, but I was not growing pumpkin, no spaghetti squash, nothing this year. You may have seen things in my garden tour that look like it, but they were all coming from a fruit that I kept from the original zucchini plants that I were growing that ended up, those seeds grew all different. I thought at first it was just me until I was watching Gardening Australia. No, I was watching Costa on a live tour. He went to somebody's house, I think, and a seed I think it was a seed guy. And they were talking about it, and they have the same thing he said, that a lot of the heirloom seeds are not growing true anymore, even if you grow them specifically as just those. So not all of them are going to grow exactly, when you keep the seed, exactly to what you think they're going to grow. Again, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with it. It just means that the seeds might have been cross-pollinated when they collected the seeds and they packaged them. Those flowers might have hybridized, because the first generation from that will look right, but the second one that you keep may not. So that's just something to think about. The peppers and everything, the same thing. Radishes are pretty good. If you're growing only radishes, definitely keep the seeds. I am absolutely a fan of keeping seeds. I'm just letting you know that sometimes they don't grow right. And I've had people beg me, please sell me sprouting broccoli. And I've got the purple one too. I can't in good faith sell something out of my garden that I know may not grow like that. I could sell something and then it's going to turn out to grow something completely different because I'm not a seed farmer. So I'm just a farmer for ourselves. We're just growing our own garden to make our own food. But cuttings are good. If you've got a sprouting broccoli, let's say you get something like that, a collard plant, tree collard is another one. Those are the ones that if they do flower, they will not possibly grow another tree collard. They may revert back to their original plant. You do those by cuttings. So if you've got a sprouting broccoli, like I've got one out there, I do cuttings off of it, and then that's a clone. That's different. You will end up exactly with the same plant. Pamela mentioned about buying from Baker Creek some Queensland blue seeds. We did, not from Baker Creek, but we did buy some Queensland blue seeds. They're pumpkins. And again, they must have been somebody, a backyard grower. They did not grow at all to be a Queensland blue. So what I'm trying to say is, these people that are selling a lot of seeds, which is fabulous, we need to have a lot of choices, are getting a lot of their seeds from the same source. There's no way that one seed farmer could be growing all different types of collards and broccolis and cabbages and everything like that in the same area, collecting the seed and selling it, because then you would end up buying something that just won't work. So different people are working with different varieties. Somebody might be doing a whole field of romaine lettuce. Another one might be doing a whole field of, let's say, sprouting broccoli. Another farmer might be doing a whole field of zucchini. They're not going to mix. So you have different people, and they may have multiple farms, but you have different people that are farming seeds, but they're growing all the same plants in one farm area. And that's usually how it's done. That's why when you buy seeds from somebody that's got a small garden and they're selling all kinds of seeds, but seeds from their garden, which most of these big seed selling people are not doing, that's why you would end up, if they were pulling it out of their garden, with an array of plants growing that are not growing true as to what you thought. And that's what happened with us. We did buy something from somebody, and they did say it was a Queensland blue pumpkin, but it was not. It grew a hybrid. The first generation seed we bought from them grew as a hybrid because they were probably growing other types of squash in their yard. I am excited and happy to know that there's so many people out there that are offering us seeds. And I think that's important because we need to be able to pick and choose whom we want to deal with, whom we want to buy from, and maybe try a bunch of them just to keep everybody going. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you could end up like that. Now, when you buy from somebody on eBay that's got thousands of seeds, like let's say the Heirloom seed guy, I don't know the person, never spoke to him. He doesn't mean anything to me. He's in Julian. I bought my celery once from him, and no kidding, they said to me when I bought it, once you buy the celery, you'll never buy it again. It's all over my yard. Absolutely true. It grows like a weed. This person is purchasing seeds. They may be buying 10 pounds, they may be buying 25 pounds, but whatever they're buying from their source, they're packaging it up. They put it in little Ziploc bags, and then all the other people you all mentioned, they package it up and they make their own packages for their seeds. And I would rather, if I want to know I'm getting something for sure, I'd rather get it from somebody that has got true seeds that are going to grow the true vegetable or fruit I'm growing, than to buy and find out I invested all that time. And that's why it concerned me when I saw some of you saying, oh, I want to grow cantaloupe, I'm going to save it from the grocery store. It takes a long time to get that vine to grow, and then you're going to be waiting and waiting, and you may end up with something that you don't like. So with cantaloupe, watermelon, certain melons, fruits like that, I would invest in either buying a plant from the store, from your nursery, your hardware stores, your home centers that carry them, to get a true plant, because those are farmers that are growing the true plant. That's the best way to go on that. Or buy seeds from somebody that is purchasing seeds from a seed farmer so you get the true plant. I kept back a lot of my little tiny watermelon seeds, and I was going to plant them this year, but I actually think I'm not going to. I think I'm going to go back to CPG. That's where I got my little watermelon. It was sweet like sugar, and it was really small, because if I plant mine, again, it may not grow to be that beautiful little watermelon that we got that was sweet. It might grow into something else. It may taste good, or I may have invested all my time, energy, water, and the thrill of cutting it open to find out it's not what I thought it would be. So on watermelon, I'm going to go ahead and buy a plant or true seeds. As far as Julie, she mentioned about she loves the paper cup system, and a few other people have mentioned the paper cup system that I use. I don't have any paper cups in front of me. The reason I like that is some of the seeds, when you buy them, you know, they're, let's say, like I said, Brad's Atomic tomatoes, they're like $2 for 30 seeds. Well, if I do it in the paper cup system, and I will get a video on just the paper cup system up again, I'm planting one seed. I don't have to waste my seeds. Seeds that you buy, if kept in a nice, dry, cool place, can last for many, many, many years. So you don't have to worry about that. If you're getting too many seeds, you think, well, I don't want to plant 20 plants. Don't. Use the paper cup system like I do. Plant one seed. You have nothing to lose. If the one seed doesn't come up, you can plant another one. So I would take like 4 paper cups, plant in each paper cup one seed, take care of it. You may end up with all 4 growing. You may end up with, like I did last year, everything I planted, I had 100% from the Heirloom seed. It's called the Heirloom Seed Guide. I had 100% going on that. So I would do 1 paper cup at a time, and you'll know in about a week to 2 weeks if nothing's grown. No loss. Pop something else in there. Pop a popolo in there. Put a zucchini in there. Whatever you want. You know, these plants, you're not going to plant a ton of them. So this way you can just be real frugal with your seeds, and you don't have to waste your money, and you'll still have seeds for the following year and the year after that. So try the paper cup system. That might help. You can also use any container you want. I just love the paper cup system because when I'm doing zucchini, I can grow 1 zucchini in the paper cup, and when I'm ready, I put everything out. Paper cup and all. I don't transplant, and it works great. And I'll explain that, the way the water works and the whole system on that. It just works fabulous for a lot of plants. Sharon still has snow, and she likes seeing the green out the window. You know what the green out the window is? Weed abatement. They're already starting to get on people's, so they need to start getting that out. It's weeds. Unfortunately, it is sad that they have to start whacking that out soon. The deer will probably come through and eat a lot of it down. The rabbits will, but there's so much. So the problem with that is it's going to have to be pulled out, and that is also food for the hummingbirds, because a lot of that is mustard and sow thistle, wild tobacco, and they all throw seeds and beautiful flowers that they use, but that's what's going out the window. But she's got snow, so she likes seeing the green. Let me tell you something, we've been warm, but we have a new rainstorm coming in, so I don't know what's going to be. And I am used, some people mention my new little space. You know, like people have a man cave. I have a hummingbird cave. That's not a cave. I do like it. I had to get used to it. I am not a person that likes changes, so it was like, oh, Gary, you're taking my desk away. But, you know, I am used to it. The desk is right behind you, and it hasn't gone far. It just, I really like sitting here working on videos, working online. Yes, that's hummingbirds flying past my head. They do it all the time. And I really enjoyed that, but they were actually too loud when I was working on the video. Sometimes I would think, wow, those hummingbirds are so loud in my video. And then I realized they were in the video, but they were also out the window. And they do really buzz in my head and stuff when the feeders start to get low. Thank goodness every feeder out there is full. So, and they're really hungry right now because it's quite warm. So thank you. I really do enjoy the room. Now I'm trying to get to more questions, but I think that's pretty much it. So So I think I've covered that. I just wanted to say I'm not trying in any way to deter anybody from collecting seeds. I want you to collect your own seeds. I've got all kinds of seeds in here. I collect everything, peppers and everything. I just am totally aware. See, here's Popolo from 2017. And you know what? It's going to still grow. So I collect seeds. Here's junk mail from Home Energy Insurance Solutions. I don't have them, but they're sending me information, and they have a beautiful envelope, so I can just keep the envelope, fold it down, and keep it in a container. I absolutely collect seeds. And I think it's important that we do collect seeds, but all again, just keep, like here's bell peppers. I mixed them up. Mixed peppers. And I've got black peppers and, oh, Blue Hills. Okay, so I bought from a nursery some black peppers, and then I kept the seeds. So at least I know I'm going to get peppers on this. Peppers grow pretty true. So far I've had them grow pretty true. I think the ones that you really have to worry about that won't grow true are your squash. Squash, like any of the pumpkins. You know, pumpkins are squash. Zucchini is squash. They hybridize really easy, and a lot of the seeds have been kind of hybrid seeds when you get them. But you don't know it, because like I said, the first generation will grow true. But if they cross-pollinated whatever way they had them, some of them, then the second generation won't. So that's what you have to worry about. Your squash and your watermelon, cantaloupe, those type of melons, I would get a true plant if possible, because it's a lot of time and investment in that. And then the other ones are your kales. They will cross-pollinate. Cucumbers, pretty much no, you can collect the seeds on that, but I just go ahead and get new cucumber seeds. I want to keep the seed companies in business too, so I'll go ahead and buy seeds like that. And I want to keep the people that are farming great plants. I want to keep them in business too, so I buy plants as well too. So just keep in mind, it's basically your collard, your broccoli, and your squash. Those are the ones, and tomatoes. They all cross-pollinate, and then you end up with a surprise. So I hope I've answered some of your questions, given you some thought. And again, don't plant all the seeds. You don't have to plant all of them. I'm not going to grow, I don't know how many are in here. Let's say you've got 10 seeds of zucchini. Put them in your paper cups. Plant 2 or 3, and then spread them out too. Sometimes as the plant gets older, it may not grow as good. Pull those out, and you'll have more ready to go. So I hope I've answered questions, given you thoughts on how to collect seeds and what to be prepared for if you do collect your own on certain varieties. Have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. And I hope you enjoyed all my friends. Do you know that it is only noon, and I have filled all these feeders here already 3 times, not counting all the others around here, but these alone 3 times. This is their favorite spot. And just so you know, do they come in the house? Yes, but now this is all, it's like a netted in, screened porch area. So when they come in, they don't even fly around here anymore, and they go straight out the window. When these windows are open, I don't want them in the house. Think of, well, let's say what goes in comes out pretty much the same way. You don't want them in the house. So again, have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye!